Country superstar Carrie Underwood has spent most of her career avoiding political talk, but she's set to perform at the upcoming inauguration. She said in a statement that she's doing it because the country must come together in the spirit of unity and look to the future. And lots of her fans aren't thrilled about it, but lots of her fans are.
For years, country superstar Carrie Underwood navigated the treacherous waters of fame with remarkable grace, notably steering clear of the turbulent seas of political discourse. She was America's sweetheart, known for powerhouse vocals and relatable anthems, a figure seemingly untouched by partisan divides. But then came the announcement that shattered this carefully crafted image. Carrie Underwood would perform at President Trump's inauguration. Suddenly, this apolitical icon was wading into uncharted territory, and the storm clouds gathered fast. Why would she step into such a politically charged arena, and what would be the fallout? The answer, it turned out, would be anything but harmonious.
As Carrie Underwood prepares to perform there in the rotunda.
I say.
I mean, right? And it's country music. I think
I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't do it, even though I
You
can't
would
sing.
not sing?
No, I would not. I would not normalize him. And she says, I love our country. How do you love your country and support and normalize somebody who was a convicted felon who really wants to destroy the country, in my opinion? I don't understand how you say you love your country at the same time as you normalize this convicted felon, which I can say now every day.
Carrie's unexpected performance and the brewing controversy. But the initial fan reactions were just the prelude. The real downpour began when daytime television's most opinionated panel, The View, turned their critical gaze on Underwood. These weren't just casual remarks. They were pointed accusations, delivered with the sharp edges of morning show banter. One host questioned Carrie's patriotism, incredulously asking how someone who loves their country could normalize a convicted felon, referring to Trump and someone they claimed wants to destroy the country. It was a direct hit, framing Carrie's performance not as a gesture of unity, but as an endorsement of someone they deeply opposed. The View wasn't just disagreeing, they were publicly questioning Carrie's values and motivations, amplifying the controversy and pushing it squarely into the mainstream media storm. The gloves were off, and the clash between country music's darling and daytime TV's outspoken voices was officially underway.
The women on The View want to cancel Carrie Underwood because she performed at Trump's inauguration.
How do you love your country and support and normalize somebody who was a convicted felon who really wants to destroy the country, in my opinion? I don't understand how you say you love your country at the same time as you normalize this convicted felon.
Listen up, you squawky birds. Let me break this down for you in terms even you boobs can understand. Over half the country voted for this man. That's how democracy works. You don't have to like it, but you do have to accept it. Instead, you're sitting there on your high chair squawking at middle-aged women about how you have better morals. Give me a break. You want to talk about patriotism? The patriotic thing to do is support the person who was elected, even if you didn't vote for them. But no, you'd rather divide the country further and act like democracy didn't happen. And for what? To virtue signal to your audience of wine mums who think you're the moral compass of America?
Ignited the media firestorm, but the real heat was coming directly from Carrie's own fan base. The announcement of her performance ripped through the country music world, creating an instant and deeply painful schism. For many, particularly those who shared Underwood's traditionally conservative fan base, her appearance was seen as a patriotic act, a moment of national unity transcending political lines. They applauded her willingness to perform for the country, regardless of who was in office, but for a significant portion of her audience, especially those with more liberal leanings, it felt like a profound betrayal. How could she? Was the echoing cry across social media. Fans who had once sung along to every lyric now felt alienated, even disgusted. The hashtag #CancelCarrie began trending, fueled by angry tweets and calls to boycott her music. Loyalty turned to outrage as quickly as a guitar riff, and Carrie Underwood, once universally adored, found herself caught in the crossfire of a deeply divided nation, with her own fans leading the charge from both sides.
Oh my god, since Carrie Underwood's performing at Donald Trump's inauguration, I just don't like her music anymore. I can't stand her. I can't buy any of her music. I'll never, ever, ever play another song of hers. She's such a piece of, oh my god. Oh my gosh, can you guys just, not think for yourselves? Why is it that the second that someone you've loved and admired and followed for 15, 20 years, because they have a different political affiliation than you, you don't like them anymore. You can't stand them now. They're garbage, they're trash. You don't want anything to do with them. You liked them, but then because that person is supporting someone you didn't vote for, they're just, you're done with them. You're done with them. Like, I don't understand it. There's a lot of musicians I follow or that I support or that I listen to their
detailed the intense fan backlash. But amidst the swirling controversy and public condemnation, Carrie Underwood had a job to do: perform. Stepping onto the inaugural stage, she faced not just a divided nation, but also the immense pressure of the moment. And then, as if the universe was determined to add another layer of drama, disaster struck. Just as she began her rendition of America the Beautiful, technical gremlins attacked. The microphone sputtered, speakers crackled, threatening to derail the entire performance. For most artists, this would be a nightmare scenario, a moment of panic and potential humiliation on a global stage. But Carrie Underwood is not most artists. With a composure that belied the chaos erupting around her, she didn't miss a beat. Waving off the technical malfunctions with a dismissive hand gesture, she seamlessly transitioned into an a cappella version, her voice soaring through the stunned silence. It was a moment of pure, unadulterated talent and resilience, a raw display of vocal power that cut through the noise and silenced her critics, at least for a breathtaking few minutes. What could have been a career-damaging catastrophe became an unforgettable display of professionalism and star power. Carrie Underwood's a cappella save should have been the story. Against all odds, she'd turned a potential disaster into a moment of sheer brilliance, a testament to her talent and poise under pressure. Many commentators, even some initially critical of her performance, had to grudgingly acknowledge the power of that moment. The clip went viral, showcasing her vocal prowess and steely professionalism, but The View, it seemed, was determined to stick to their narrative, consequences be damned. Instead of acknowledging her resilience, her message of unity, or even just the sheer entertainment value of her save, they doubled down on their criticism. They dissected her choice to perform, not the performance itself, continuing to frame it as a moral failing, a betrayal of her fans, and a normalization of someone they deemed unfit. It was as if the incredible a cappella moment hadn't even happened, or if it had, it was irrelevant to their predetermined judgment. They remained laser-focused on their political objections, seemingly unwilling to give an inch, even in the face of undeniable talent and grace under fire. Their stance wasn't just critical, it felt increasingly like a personal vendetta, a refusal to see anything beyond their own political lens. The View's continued attacks, seemingly impervious to public opinion, and even Carrie's impressive performance might have seemed like the final word. But behind the scenes, whispers began to circulate, rumors of a counter-offensive brewing in Carrie Underwood's camp. The buzz? A potential defamation lawsuit. Suddenly, the narrative shifted again. This wasn't just about public opinion or Twitter backlash anymore. This was potentially heading to a courtroom. Sources close to Underwood began hinting that her team was exploring legal options, claiming The View's commentary had crossed the line from fair criticism into outright slander and character defamation. If true, this would be a seismic move, a direct challenge to the daytime hosts and their network. It signaled that Carrie wasn't just going to absorb the punches. She was prepared to fight back, using the legal system to defend her reputation and send a clear message. Criticism is one thing, but unfounded attacks with potential career damage would not be tolerated. The lawsuit rumor injected a new level of drama into the saga, transforming it from a media squabble into a potentially explosive legal battle, a true game changer, as some insiders began to call it. The looming threat of a lawsuit cast a long shadow over The View's studio, but the Underwood saga was already revealing deeper truths about the current media landscape. The View, a show built on opinions and often controversial take, suddenly found itself potentially facing legal repercussions for expressing theirs. The irony wasn't lost on many. A platform that thrives on dissecting and judging public figures seemed unprepared to face scrutiny themselves. Their condemnation of Carrie for performing at an inauguration framed as a moral failing stood in stark contrast to their own often asserted position of empowering women. Was this girl power or something closer to mean girl tactics amplified by a national platform? Regardless of the legal outcome, Carrie Underwood emerged from the controversy arguably stronger than before. Her talent had shown through the technical glitches, her poise had defied the pressure, and her willingness to potentially fight back legally demonstrated a strength that resonated with many. Her enduring popularity, even amidst the backlash, underscored a key point. Audiences connect with authenticity and resilience. Carrie, whatever your political leanings, had shown both. Ultimately, the clash between Carrie Underwood and The View became a microcosm of our intensely polarized times. It raised questions about the limits of free speech versus defamation, the nature of patriotism in a divided nation, and the right of artists to express themselves without facing career-threatening condemnation. In a world quick to cancel and condemn, Carrie Underwood's story, whether she wins in court or not, forces us to ask, are we truly listening to each other or just shouting our opinions into the void, ready to tear down anyone who dares to strike a different note?